Last acts tonight, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal was granted interim bail by the Supreme Court. He walked out of the Tihar Jail earlier this evening, but there are very strict conditions on his bail. He can campaign, but he cannot refer to any of the details of the Liquorgate case, including any of the allegations against him, because the matter is sub judice. He has to surrender on the 2nd of June. In fact, his lawyers made a plea to allow him to stay out till at least the 4th of June, which is result day, but the Supreme Court denied that. The Aam Aadmi Party and the India Alliance are claiming that this is a vindication of Arvind Kejriwal's innocence, while the BJP says that this is just bail, and that too with strict conditions, and it has no bearing whatsoever on whether he's innocent or not. But more importantly, and this is going to be the debate and the focus of the debate tonight, has the Supreme Court, by granting this express provision, this exceptional provision, set a rather questionable precedent on how these exemptions can be made in this case of a politician? Will the same exemptions be allowed for bail in the case of an Aam Aadmi? And why is it, as far as the party, which is the Aam Aadmi Party, is getting these khas exceptions so that their leader can come out and campaign during the Lok Sabha elections? But first, let's bring you up to speed with what has been a very important day, not just for the Aam Aadmi Party and for Arvind Kejriwal, but possibly also a day that could have ramifications on the Lok Sabha campaign itself.
This is the victory of truth. This is the victory of the Indian Constitution. This is the victory of democracy.
अन्याय, अत्याचार और तानाशाही है देश के प्रधानमंत्री और भारतीय जनता पार्टी की, उसका अंत होगा।
एक तारीख के बाद उनको दोबारा जेल जाना होगा।
तो जेल में जो अभियुक्त है वो सरकार कैसे चला सकता है, ये एक बड़ा प्रश्न है।
We also hope that the Prime Minister gets enough time after 4th of June to introspect sitting in Sabarmati Ashram and the kind of politics he has indulged into.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट का धन्यवाद करता हूं और अब हम लोगों को ज्यादा ताकत मिल जाएगी।
और आज सुप्रीम कोर्ट का ये फैसला का ईडी और सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के मुंह पर ऐसे थप्पड़ लगा।
All right, let's bring you up to speed with what the Supreme Court said in its order granting interim bail to Kejriwal versus, of course, what the arguments of the enforcement were. The Supreme Court order says that Kejriwal does not have any criminal antecedents. He's not a threat to society. That, of course, is a conditionality that has to be fulfilled for bail. The ED had argued that by creating these exemptions and this exceptional situation, the court is setting a precedent for committing crimes and avoiding investigation under the garb of elections. The order also goes on to say, the Supreme Court order, that serious accusations are there against Arvind Kejriwal, but he is still pending trial, which means he has not been convicted, and therefore that is one of the reasons the court saw merit in giving him interim bail. The ED has argued that if you were to take the barometer of elections in the last 5 years alone, state and parliamentary elections all put together, we've had 120 plus elections. So interim bail just to campaign will shield every politician. Every politician who is in jail will use this as a precedent to ask for bail. The court order also said that the view that needs to be taken has to be more holistic. It has to be a slightly libertarian view, which is justified, in the opinion of the court, in view of the Lok Sabha elections, which, as the court argued, happens only once in 5 years. The ED's argument is that the reason why this entire thing came to the fore during the course of the Lok Sabha campaign is because for 6 months, 9 times, the petitioner cited different elections, whether it is state elections, Rajya Sabha elections, all kinds of elections, as the reason for why he didn't comply with the ED summons. But the bigger question is this: by granting its order, and of course there are strict conditionalities attached with the interim bail, by granting interim bail with this order, has the Supreme Court created a rather unrequired precedent where tomorrow any politician who faces grave charges and is pending trial in jail will use this as a precedent to ask for conditional or interim bail. Let me now open this up to our guests first. Later on, we'll also be joined by two eminent lawyers. But first, R.P. Singh, national spokesperson of the BJP, joining us. Abhinandita Mathur is spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. Smita Prakash is editor of ANI. Abhinandita Mathur, this is the critical aspect, that bail for campaigning. The whole argument of Mr. Kejriwal's lawyers was that he needs to be given bail because he's an important political leader in this country and he's by force being asked to sit out of the campaign because he's in jail. If you were to use this as a rationale, as a precedent, then tomorrow any politician who faces grave charges will ask for bail on these very same grounds.
For the judgment of the Supreme Court today, I think that the matter is actually larger, and the question was not whether or not Arvind Kejriwal ji should get bail or not. The question was actually much larger: whether people of India deserve an election, whether they deserve a democracy where opponents are not, put in jail out of vendetta. It's been more than 2 years since this supposed liquor scam is being investigated. There is no substantial evidence of the money trail or any recovery of the money itself. And despite jailing Satinder Jain ji, despite jailing Manish Sisodia ji, and then Sanjay Singh ji, Arvind Kejriwal ji, Aam Aadmi Party has managed to stand strong. It is this belief and faith in the Indian democracy, in the electoral system, that has actually given us some hope. And thankfully, the judiciary also understands, and it's for everybody to see that, the way Mr. Modi is getting these elections conducted, it is not an equal field.
No, one second, Abhinandita, you may be entitled to your view that it's not a level playing field, but today's order is by no means some kind of a clean chit to Mr. Kejriwal. If anything, the strict conditionalities that have been imposed, I think, are testimony to the fact that the court is very clear that the merits of the evidence will be gone into at the trial stage. The court has also explicitly said that we are not showing any expression of opinion on the merits of this case.
Absolutely, as the court shouldn't. And, like I said, we respect the judgment of the Supreme Court. The only distinction I'm trying to make here is that there is a difference between, ordinary circumstances where a person is accused of something and there is a natural course of justice that takes place. Very unfortunately, we live in times where the BJP has gone above and beyond, any kind of Rajnan, following any kind of principles of democracy, etc. And in fact, the observations that the Supreme Court has made, the conditions that are routine, especially for an act like the PMLA, it's actually the court has taken a very liberal view, and that is welcome news for us.
Okay, let me ask R.P. Singh. The court has also said today, as part of its order, that Kejriwal does not have any criminal antecedents. He's not a threat to society. The accusations may be serious, but he is not convicted. In fact, far from it. The trial has not even begun. A holistic and libertarian view is justified in view of the Lok Sabha elections, which happen once in 5 years. And the court responded to the ED lawyer who said, tomorrow a farmer will say harvest happens every 6 months, therefore he should be given bail. So the court said, elections happen once in 5 years, it doesn't happen once in 6 months. So the court has taken a holistic and libertarian view. This also means, and this is where you need to respond, that it is sending out a signal to your government, to the ED, IT, CBI, that look, you can't just keep arresting opposition leaders all in sundry and putting them in jail.
Well, Jaka, good evening, and let me start with you. You said the court observed that he is not threat to society. Who can be bigger threat to society who was serving one bottle free, another bottle free? What can be bigger threat to society who was allocated vents next to the schools, next to hospitals, next to Gurdwara, temples? So this is probably a bigger threat to society as an issue. But coming to the court order and then how it is being observed, he has been given a bail for electioneering. Now, court has opened a Pandora box. Tomorrow, there can be big queue going on the same pretext to the court. It can be Hemant Soren, it can be other people from Bengal who have been arrested, leaders who have been arrested from Bengal with money bags. They can say that we have also right to go and campaign. And as far as timing of the arrest, he was issued 9 summons. And every time he took a pretext. Sometime he took a pretext of Vipassana, other time he took a pretext of election, sometime he took election of pretext of that he's busy with the conduct of the assembly session. So he was the one who was avoiding the arrest, and I'm putting the whole of the story other way around. He ensured that his arrest should be around the election so that he thinks he can probably garner sympathy, and then he can move to the court saying that, if court grants him bail, good. If it doesn't grant him bail, I still have a reason of saying that I'm bechara.
Okay.
But give me a second. You are missing on one big point today. You are missing on a very big story today. Today, Amritpal Singh has moved on the similar ground to the High Court in Chandigarh, and has said he had some Waris Punjab Day, and then he intends to contest election on Khadur Sahib, so he should be also granted bail. So is Khalistani Amritpal Singh also?
I think there is a distinction. The charges against Mr. Kejriwal are financial in nature. The charges against Amritpal Singh are related to terrorism. So I think it's two separate issues. But let me ask Smita Prakash this. Smita Prakash, the problem with I wouldn't say the problem, but one of the Pandora's box, as RP Singh said, that this order opens up is that it creates two classes of citizens. There are politicians who can now cite this and say, we are needed for election campaigning, therefore grant us bail. That, of course, will not be extended to ordinary citizens. And more importantly, if you were to take this whole precedent or this yardstick that elections have happened, a politician should be allowed to campaign. Elections happen every 6 months in this country. There's right after the Lok Sabha elections, within 6 months, you have state polls to Maharashtra, Haryana, Jharkhand, etc. So the point is this a tenable enough defense or a tenable enough line to say, okay, please release me because I'm a politician and I need to campaign? The court did not extend this courtesy to Jagan Mohan Reddy or Jayalalitha or even Hemant Soren for that matter.
Exactly. 2 points that you mentioned. One is about this special consideration. There's no difference between prince and pauper, right, in the court. But here you're seeing a difference. The second one which you pointed out, firstly, let's go on to this. The political part as well as the judicial part. So he's out, which you said, purely for purposes of campaigning, and the campaigning elections take place every 6 months. The point is that he's not even contesting the election. So I just don't understand how, that becomes a thing that he needs to campaign. So, Hemant Soren can do the same thing, and Hemant Soren's got rejected today, right? The Supreme Court said it disposed of Hemant Soren's plea and challenges. It said that, it's infructuous is the word that they used. So, and it's right, Amritpal can make that, Lalu Yadav can make that, Kavita can make that. What seems peculiar is that Kejriwal is not contesting, as I said, in 2024. So the special case out here seems like one remarkable act of kindness by the courts. And if there was a scam, and if the Chief Minister is the fulcrum over which the whole case lies, it seems it's kind of thought-provoking as to why the bail. But then let's go into the political. The bail has come. Now Delhi election will see some renewed activity which is going on, because till now you only saw the BJP really doing the heavy lifting. Sunita Kejriwal did do some road shows, but she's a newbie in politics. It's not had that kind of an effect because she basically was asking for votes on behalf of her husband. So the AAP will showcase Kejriwal as, that the remnants of democracy have come up, and the vindication of the power of the ordinary man. The people of the city have to fight for democracy, which he said today at the rally. But when the people of this city are well aware that that sheen of honesty has got tarnished. So I don't know about Delhi, because they're not really fighting all the seats in Delhi. So Delhi is not so much to be seen, but I'll be interested to see what happens in Punjab. Today the Congress is, jumping over itself to say that, democracy has been saved. But what happens in Punjab? Because Aam Aadmi Party will see renewed gusto with Kejriwal campaigning out there. And who's going to benefit and who's going to lose? It's the Congress versus vote share, which will be eaten up by the Aam Aadmi Party, because the Aam Aadmi Party, suddenly their rallies and their campaign is going to look a whole lot better with a Kejriwal than without a Kejriwal. So it's the Congress which is going to get hit hard. The BJP is just, I think, feeling a little bit miffed that they had this whole thing going against Aam Aadmi Party and he's come out on bail and all that. It's more an ego battle rather than an electoral battle as far as Aam Aadmi Party versus BJP is concerned.
It could also be a bit of a crown of thorns, because Abhinandan Mathur, today the court also said, and very, very explicitly said, that Kejriwal will not interact with any of the witnesses who are connected to the case. He will not access or sign any official files, will not perform his administrative duties as Chief Minister. He will not make any comments about his role in this money laundering case, in the Liquorgate case. Now, here is why this is a crown of thorns, because surely the BJP is going to make this an issue, certainly on the campaign trail. Delhi votes on the 25th, and as the Delhi campaign moves into high gear, this will be the singular biggest issue for the BJP. And Mr. Kejriwal, as has been directed by the court, cannot respond, cannot talk about this case. So it's really, you've got one hand tied behind your back, even as you celebrate today.
These conditions of bail that the court has put are very, very routine. I don't think that they're actually very different for, in the case of Mr. Kejriwal than it is for most other accused who are out on bail. I don't think that there is anything extraordinary about these conditions. I can understand your other questions, but this one, just technically speaking, is pretty routine. So I don't think we have to worry about this. Overall, I think if I have to respond to the other two speakers, there is one thing that I'm very happy to report, and I'm submitting this with full sincerity, at least in Delhi, and despite the fact that all our big leaders were jailed. Today, the biggest cadre in Delhi is of the Aam Aadmi Party. Whether it is, the women's wing, whether it is the auto rickshaw wing, whether it is the Vyapari wing. The truth is that BJP, in spite of all the might and power and, LG ki taakat and Delhi police and everything else, they are not able to win the hearts of the people of Delhi. And that is their big problem. That is where Arvind Kejriwal comes in, where he has actually served the people in a way that they have not imagined. Because Arvind Kejriwal has brought education, healthcare, etc. into our political discourse. I mean, this we cannot deny. If it were not for the Aam Aadmi Party, we would not have this discourse.
No. One second. There was health and education in Delhi even before AAP came to power. You may have jazzed it up a bit, but that's fine.
Demand, I'm saying.
But Abhinandan, that's not the number one issue in this election campaign. It may be 6 months down the line when the state goes to poll, but not for the Lok Sabha election.
Yes, but I'll tell you what the number one issue is, or the most important issues are. It's inflation, it's lack of jobs. It's in terms of what is positive for us is that people know that the Aam Aadmi Party Sarkar has been able to actually keep the inflation and mahungai in control, because there are no, the electricity bills are free, etc.
You see. One second, ma'am. No. The point is, inflation, joblessness was there with or without Mr. Kejriwal inside jail. Now what will happen, and RP Singh, you need to respond to this, whether it is Congress Party, Aam Aadmi Party, all other parties are going to say that, look, our position has been vindicated, at least from the point of view that Mr. Modi's government is using all these agencies, putting us behind bars. The only institution that is there that is safeguarding democracy is the Supreme Court, and they will say this is our vindication. And in this election, still half of India is yet to vote. In this election, he in fact already said it, Mr. Kejriwal, after coming out of jail, that this election is about saving the constitution, it's about saving democracy in this country, and he will cite his own example, saying it's only because of the Supreme Court that he's out today.
And saving India from its
let Mr. Singh respond. Yeah, RP Singh.
I appreciate just rewind some 15 days back, and then you'll find the statement of Mr. The Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson criticizing the court for not granting bail to Mr. Kejriwal. So they have selective way of believing in court also. But that point aside, good. Today they are at least saying that they are appreciating the Supreme Court. But let's understand what Mr. Kejriwal is going to campaign and say. I am the one who has been accused of liquor scam, and I have come here for vote. Please vote for me. I am out on bail only for this. please vote for me. I'm the one who gave one bottle with one other bottle free, please vote for me. I'm the one who got the vents outside the schools, the gurdwaras, the mandirs, so please vote for me. What are you talking about? Zaka, do you think, why are you undermining the people of Delhi, or people of the country? Are they going to vote for a person who was behind bar for the liquor scam, for corruption in liquor? And now even if he goes and says, it is all false, but people still believe what has happened. And as for
RP Singh Saab, there is a larger issue I'm trying to get at. I'll get Smita to give the final word on that, which is basically that tomorrow, starting tomorrow till the 1st of June, Mr. Kejriwal is free to campaign, not just in Delhi and Punjab, by the way. He can campaign with Mamata Banerjee in Bengal, he can campaign with Akhilesh Yadav and Rahul Gandhi in Uttar Pradesh, and everywhere he goes, Smita, this is what the India Alliance will do. That, look, here is a man, a sitting chief minister, who was targeted unfairly by Mr. Modi's government. The Supreme Court has released him. He becomes a political martyr of sorts. Certainly a sort of signpost, if you will, for exactly what the India Alliance has been saying all along, that democracy in this country is under threat.
Zaka, if this had happened in April, I would agree with you. But we are talking midway into the election, and these regional satraps are now are consolidating whatever time is left. In many of the states, it's already over. But in the other states, they're consolidating. They don't want another hero or a martyr to come their way. They want to establish themselves in the last round. It's the last steeplechase. So, no. I don't agree with you that he will matter, or India Alliance partners will be very eager to have him right now. It's Delhi and Punjab and wherever AAP is fighting. As far as Delhi is concerned, the point is that, where can he make a difference? Probably in one seat, because they're only fighting in 4. The fact is, but you have to look at the BJP, that for the past 2 to 3 years, since this scam came to light and all this is happening, they have not managed to bring up a leader equal to the stature of Kejriwal. Like it or not, yes, the people of Delhi vote the BJP for 2014-2019 to the Lok Sabha purely because of Modi. No thanks to the great leaders of Delhi BJP who fight and have not brought up a leader, and that's why you saw that many of them got axed, right? Because the Delhi BJP has not been able to fight a Kejriwal at the state level. They just have to admit it. So, now was the time that they should have brought up. Now, they couldn't do that even now. So, it remains to be seen whether they get their act together and bring up a leader from amidst them who can stand up to the stature of a Kejriwal.
All right, let's see how this plays out. Like I said, the India Alliance can decide to use this in 2 ways. Either say, okay, he's out, well and good for him, and he will campaign wherever the Aam Aadmi Party has a presence, of course, in Delhi and in Punjab. Or they can make him, like I said, some kind of a signpost for what they have been arguing all along about democracy under threat, and institutions have been captured, and IT, ED, CBI, etc. is being used to settle scores with the opposition. We'll see if at all this has an impact on the campaign trail. But like I said, I don't think this election is done and dusted just yet. There are still half the Lok Sabha seats, half of them, that are still to vote. So let's see if this becomes a bit of a game changer, if at all, during the course of this Lok Sabha campaign, which is in any case is a long drawn out one.